Hey, yo, what is going on, guys? Got episode number 70 of Marvel Yap for you guys today. Today, we're going to be going over the good old Datamine that just happened and talking about Team Clash. Episode number 70 is going to be an absolute certified banger. You guys don't want to miss this, so we might have a surprise in the middle of the video as well. Who knows? But let's go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, we're joined by the hostess with the mostest, notmydance, the man who has returned from an adventure he went on, which we weren't going to have the yap out on perfect timing, but my OBS decided to kaput itself and the recording got scrapped. So we are doing a new rendition of episode number 70. But Dance, how was your adventure?
It was a lot of fun. So this past, literally within a span of 1 week, I actually went to both sides of the country. I went to California last week for a company Christmas thing, and then just got back yesterday. Actually, yesterday morning, at 4 in the morning is when I left to be back inside of to leave from New York and then come all the way back to Colorado. So I've been everywhere this week so far, and I'm upset at the fact that Colorado, I feel like, is typically the cold. I feel like it as the coldest state. But we don't have water in the air up here.
Yeah, because you're so
New York
on your
does.
altitude, right? Like,
yeah.
New
York does, and it feels so much colder out there. It is like the temperatures can be like a little bit lower. I think it was lower when we were out there, but also any amount of wind chill made it feel so much worse. It was much colder, but it was an absolute blast. My wife and I've wanted to go near for a bit, so we did that. Went to go see some plays. We went to go see plays of things that we already liked. We went to see the Stranger Things play, the Harry Potter play. That I won't talk about either one of those two. Harry Potter.
Okay.
That's the name. Actually, I read so it's called The Cursed Child, and it actually, I can reach it, but it came out a few years ago. Like,
yep. They did it in Michigan
but
first.
when it came,
University of Michigan.
In Michigan? Really? Huh. It came out at one point, like right when I graduated high school, and I actually got reach over all the way over here. I got like a screenplay of it at that time, so I've read it.
Okay.
But it does it as a screenplay, and so it's not a good bit of story. Like, it doesn't do any good storytelling because it's you can read this and then these are like acting directions. It doesn't describe everything else super well, and I just dropped it. It's fine. So I didn't enjoy it as much. I did enjoy it more so when I went to go see it.
Right.
But reading it, it was like, oh, this isn't as good. In the end, though, I actually loved the Stranger Things one so much more. We won't talk about that because I think that's a lot more of a newer one, especially. And I think we were talking a little bit before you might go see it, but it also gave details for like the next bit of Stranger Things, which my wife and I kept talking about it because we love nerding and geeking out about this stuff. And we were like, wait a second. They didn't explain this, but this is for this. And then, oh, so this is this? And I'm saying this as a lot because I can't use words to describe stuff, as I don't want to say what it is actually. Because again, spoilers and yada yada, but it was a very cool play. I really enjoyed it. I loved what they did. The actors were absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't seen it and you enjoy Stranger Things, 100% I recommend going to see I think it's called, I got a scarf from it, and
yeah, a scarf from that, but not from Harry Potter.
Actually, I got a scarf from each. Fun fact.
I was about to say, what?
No. Actually, I got a scarf from Harry Potter and a scarf from the Stranger Things play, because the scarf that I brought out was like really thin because I lost my good scarf. I don't know where it is. I just lose stuff. And I got that one out there, and I was like, oh, this is like, it feels really thick. I love it. And I found what is it? I'm not saying stuff. I've realized I don't want to say this bit on the thing because it has references to the play in the Stranger Things one.
Well, did you enjoy Stranger Things more because you enjoy Stranger Things more than Harry Potter?
Oh, that's interesting. So I've been a fan of Harry Potter for forever. Right. Like, I got these I have the whole hardcover collection. I got it from my grandpa when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read them many, many times. I used to listen to the audiobooks falling asleep, like on my CD player
Okay.
back in the day. But so when I say, but then you ask if I like Stranger Things more, I'm more into the Stranger Things right now. I think it's not just because of that. I do like Stranger Things more right now, but I liked the way that they told the story of Stranger Things more. Like Stranger Things took time to build each scene. And use the same scene repeatedly and like built a lot of stuff in one spot. Whereas it felt like with the Harry Potter, and it's just like different types of plays, I feel like. I don't know enough stuff about them. But in the Harry Potter one, we would get one interaction between two characters.
Okay.
And then they would change the scene. And then you get one interaction and you change this. And it felt like that repeatedly. And they do a lot of cool stuff to show the scene transitions. But at the same time, I was like, I wish I could have enjoyed each scene a little bit more for what it was. And it just felt very jarring in that way. So I liked the Harry Potter one less because it felt like I didn't get to enjoy each and every scene. The story was still fun, and I really, again, liked the actors. But the Stranger Things one, it felt like did a lot more stuff to establish characters and the world and such. I don't know. It was cool. I enjoyed the whole thing. It was an absolute blast. I wasn't gonna be able to talk about any of this in the previous one because I don't typically talk about where I leave, like where I'm going if I'm leaving, because I think that's just safer, especially if I'm putting anything on the internet. But I can now because I'm back.
He's back.
Speaking of that fact that I'm back, I've been talking about things that I've done, but we've got stuff looking ahead to the future, looking ahead to tomorrow, looking ahead to next month and the month following, and even a little bit of like months future.
Yes, future, maybe days of future past. But anywho, today we're gonna be talking about Datamines and Team Clash, which some of these cards actually got updated during these Datamines. Some of their Team Clash stats got adjusted slightly. And then we're also going to be talking about some of the key characters that stick out to us, that are some of the characters that are established in each of the teams for Team Clash, since you can customize your decks in Team Clash, of course, per the Team Clash video that we saw, I believe, yesterday that Dara and Nina did. There is custom decks back. You're not just stuck with pre-built decks like you were in Grand Arena this time around. But the Datamines we do have today have had some adjustments, some major adjustments to cards that we've already talked about, opposed to necessarily a lot of brand new cards having abilities. And as we do jump right into that, the brand new season in February, this is February season we're going to be looking at, is going to be a new Guardians of the Galaxy season.
I'm so stoked that this is a Vincenzo Riccardi looking to be themed season.
Yes.
It's so cool. It looks absolute. I'm so stoked about this in an amazing way. I love it. I think this is, I just cannot truly emphasize how stoked I am about this upcoming season. I think the abilities of these cards, we already kind of talked about a few of them, look cool. And then also I love, again, just the art style. Like, little known fact, I think the only person, before we even like really had any people on the Yap, one of the first people I think we tried to talk about was Vincenzo, and I don't think stuff worked out, but it was just because we loved his art style and wanted to just talk with him about his experience in Marvel Snap. But I love the fact that he's doing more stuff in Snap, so I'm just stoked. I love this season.
Yeah, I reached out to him on Twitter, and he said he would have loved to be on, but English is not his first language, and he didn't want to have too much difficulty on the Yap itself. But he was super excited that we all enjoyed his content, and was talking about how he's going to have more stuff come to the game, which is really nice. But it does look like...
Was this like a year ago?
Yes,
right?
this was a year ago. It does look like Star-Lord, Master of the Sun, is the Season Pass card, and Magus is going to be the Super Premium Season Pass card if we're just basing it off of this picture.
Yeah. It does look to be that way, and I'm gonna be honest, I think both of them seem extremely cool. I think Magus, honestly, might be the one I'm a little bit more interested in, but I do like both of them a lot. I'm very interested in this stuff, but that's just that season. We also had some updates for the cards coming out next season.
Next season we did, and then we also finally got an ability for Drax, Avatar of Life, or like a more updated one so we can actually see, which Drax is a 4/4 end of turn +4 power if your opponent played a card with greater power this turn, which would be global. Period. I'm saying period because then it also has afterwards move to that card if you'd be winning its location. So I do believe this end of turn ability gives you that +4 first, and then if it would be winning the location it moves. It does not have to be moving to the location, I believe, to get that +4.
Yeah, which is cool. It also, I feel like this is gonna be a 4/8 maybe. It feels cool, but I'm also wondering if this is going to be like really narrow. I don't know.
Well, being end of turn, there's a lot of options for it to, get above that 8. It really, honestly, this is a meta-dependent card. More often than not, are you seeing more mid-range? Are you seeing more of those ramp-style cards? Like, there's a world where this does get to, a 4/12. But the likelihood of getting past something like a 4/8 or getting past a 4/12 is definitely going to be a bit more minuscule, I do believe, like you're talking about, like in future context, unless it is a bunch of ramp decks, then it'll be like, okay, well, I am going to be getting, that power. But still, you're not pouring a lot into this, so it's like a passive at least 4/8, it looks like, which could be pretty decent.
It's going to be fun. I like it. It would be, I think it's going to be a fine card. I don't think it's going to be great. I actually think the week that this card comes out is going to be one of the worst weeks of this card. Yeah. But I do think that the future weeks of it should be a lot more interesting. I like that stuff. But also, there's a lot of other cards. Obviously, there's some cards that are inside of the Team Clash stuff. But a lot of cool things.
And then they've updated some of the flavor text for some of these cards, by the way. So they removed there was an exclamation point above ongoing for Jack Flag here, and then instead of your cards here with increased power get +2, it's have because it's ongoing. That's why they changed it from get to have.
The exclamation point, it's not ever meant to be seen by us. I feel like that's what they use to exclamation point in front of the ability just lets it get recognized as an ongoing ability or whatever. Does that make sense? I don't know. I feel like that's something with it, as I have no proof, whatever. But also, Jack Flag also, I think we talked about him before, still seems cool, but also requires that, the fact that it has to be, the cards have to have a increase in power rather than, afflicted with negative power. Afflicted with negative power can still have the card looking like base stats, but would still count for Ajax. Doesn't work that way for the inverse, so I still am not stoked.
Yeah, into the Affliction matchup, it's rough, but not into the Affliction matchup seems pretty good.
Well, I'm thinking of there's that location that just gives you -2 on your cards, and you would Silver Surfer them, and it wouldn't count as a buff.
Okay, so not into an Affliction matchup or into an Affliction location, this card looks good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just am lower on it because I don't like the way that interaction works.
And I look at Moonstone, and Moonstone seems pretty good with this too. But
Moonstone's actually that's a great shot. Moonstone's actually fire there.
Also, this works with your whatchamacallit. It works with your Goliath. There's a lot of really cool,
Carter,
interesting stuff. Carter, yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things that this card can do.
All right,
it sucks. Dance wants to reiterate, this sucks into the Affliction matchup and into Affliction locations. So do not play this into Affliction locations and try to steer away from Affliction matchups if you're facing this card.
Or you just run Lucas Cage.
Or you run Luke Cage. True. We also then have Moondragon's text, I believe, also got changed too. It was originally, if you played one card this turn and spent all your energy, give this +2 power. Now it is end of turn +2 power if you played one card this turn and spent all your energy. It literally just flopped the flavor text around. Flipped it, flopped it.
Which, flippity floppity, hippity hoppity, Moondragon still seems... It's the buff to Doom 2099 that doesn't seem like it's going to matter.
True. Hopefully. Now, Shao Lao the Undying
This is a massive change. So
crazy.
typically we look at these. We typically will look at these at the same time. But like I said, yesterday was a big day for me. Didn't have the free time to chat about this yesterday. Like I'm pretty sure by the time the patch came out, I think I was in the air. I think I was in the air at the time the patch came out. I believe so. Couldn't look at it live, and saw this. You and I think both saw this. Shao Lao the Undying is awesome. It's even better than I thought.
Yeah, they took away 2 points of power. It was originally a 5/10 +2, and it gave the last character you played +2 power for each turn you played 2 or more cards. Now it is a 5/8. Give the last character you played +3 power for each turn you played 2 or more cards.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I love it even more. There's a different card that came out yesterday. Right, this is going up on Wednesday, I believe. Just
Yeah,
in
it's
the
going
evening.
up today. Yeah.
Today.
Today is
It's not often we record these the same day they go out, but but what is it? So Maverick just came out, and I was I really want to be able to use this guy with Maverick.
Yes, Maverick or Kitty Pride.
I think both.
Yes, potentially
What's
Porque no los dos, you know?
Yeah, porque no los dos. I can't English or Spanish for that matter. So
Can't English. But yeah, no, this looks really fun. And it's a season pass card, so I think they wanted to have a better season pass card, and they want their season pass cards to have +3, right? Every single time.
+3. God, I mean, like, do they? I don't know. Maybe it was really bad, is what they've decided. But also, it is a 5 cost. And we talked consistently about the 5 costs feeling like they don't land well. So maybe this is the opportunity to.
Yeah, no, this looks like a 5 cost. That's like, yeah, 5 costs are bad, but this one, this is like the best 5 cost. You know, like that's kind of like the situation we're looking at here. And yeah, this looks freaking crazy. Next, Star-Lord, Master of the Sun. Appears the same, but has an image now for its base card art, which if you guys did not know, is a 4-cost, 5-powered card with the ability on reveal. Next turn, you get +1 energy for each turn you've ended with unspent energy.
So this card's bad.
Bad?
I think this is a bad card.
I think it's because it's a high Evo card. It means it's bad because high Evo's bad.
I think it feels like this is a card supposed to be like, all right, cool. We are pointing at High Evolutionary. Use High Evolutionary. And I look at this and I say, that's not enough.
Well, what if I say something else, okay? What if I say instead of High Evo, what if it's back to something like Hit Monkey Slam?
Immediately better. Immediately so much better. I just don't think this matters for high evolutionary, which is so sad to me.
Well, and then also, what if it's not for high evo? What if it's literally instead of doing high evo, it's just for warlock? Like you don't necessarily need to do the high evo stuff. You just do warlock things. You look at Pixie Chef's deck, and you look at the way he does his Infinite She-Hulk kind of situation, and then warlock, and then you're gonna also look at Magus when Magus comes out. Like I think this is one of those times where you're really pouring into Season Pass and Super Premium Season Pass playing together. And I think it's been a minute since we've had something like that. I think that's one of the thought processes here. But I do agree, High Evo is in a very rough spot. And it's good for early CL players, not necessarily great for later 100%. CL players. And maybe they're trying to lean more towards that at the moment. And that's like what you're saying. They want you to play this in High Evo. But will this actually make High Evo better? I don't know.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I actually think Warlock is part of the issue, and I think Warlock should say end of turn for each unspent energy. Give a card in your hand, -1 cost. Still same for the activate. Like, it's an activate, activates on the end of your turn, but it just doesn't do it immediately so that it works with She-Hulk.
Well, She-Hulk is the beginning of the next turn.
Okay, the beginning of the next turn.
So
I just want
She-Hulk
triggers after She-Hulk. That's it. Words, just put it in parentheses. Triggers after She-Hulk. That's it. That's the answer.
That would be.
But also, I just really, like, I think it really should do that at this point. I don't know. I think they've tried the extra power, and they're not going to make it a 3/5 because they're scared of the card. But I think it should do that.
We'll see. We'll see. I know you're lower on.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this works, even in just as a ramp style kind of card, like if you miss your curve once or twice kind of situation. And then we have Starhawk, which is a 2-cost, 2-powered card. On reveal, on odd turns, give your cards at the left location +1 power, and on even turns, give your cards in the right location +1 power. I think this card actually is pretty solid. In general, like as a buffing card, like especially with some of the key cards that want to get buffs and being able to kind of play around positioning your cards, because it's every card at that location gets that card, you know? And it doesn't say give your other cards here. It just says give your cards. So you technically could play Starhawk on that location to also get the buff itself. For a 2-cost, it's not bad.
That's fair. What is it? Also interesting to know with the card, just as it's Snap fan according. All this is data mine, subject to change, yada yada. It's subject to release on the 26th of February at a limited time event, and then drops to Series 4 a month later. So it's a Series 4 card potentially in a limited time event. So cool, but also I really just don't like. Yeah, you're right. It's a 2/6, and I actually missed the other, and that makes it slightly not like doesn't have the word other. I'm still not sold on this card, honestly.
So I watched KM's video this morning, actually, and I think which we'll talk about this in a little bit, if Shang-Chi's 10 rings had not gotten changed, this card's dead on arrival. But since Shang-Chi's 10 rings non-enabled ability doesn't have the same ability, it gives this card a little bit more legs in a sense, which I think is very nice, which I don't think it'll be up in a little bit when we talk about that, because I think that Shang-Chi card is actually something we definitely need to spend a lot of time on, or not a lot, but time on. But then also we have Major Victory got updated. Flavor text again. It is a 3-cost, 4-powered card. Add 2 members of the Guardian's crew to your hand. So I'm going to be interested to see if it has the question mark on the card itself, hopefully, to be able to specify it's not just the regular Guardians. It includes the other iterations of Guardians characters.
Now, I don't ask you to do this often. I'm actually ask you to click on Major Victory right now and scroll down the page, because I just noticed that it has tokens. And it has these 6 cards referenced as tokens: Gamora, Groot, Mantis, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, and Star-Lord. And even says, again, it says references those same 6 cards, so maybe only them?
Yeah, it may be only then. And I wonder if it creates them or you have to have them in your deck.
I think it creates them. I would bet creates them based off of the wording of the initial ability, add to your hand, which never has created that. Like, I think it'd say draw from your deck or whatever. Draw 2 Guardians from your deck if it was the other way. But I think it's interesting to note it's those 6. Mantis, why? Other ones, okay. But like, it's I wonder if that's really going to be a good thing for the Victoria hand deck. I don't know. Kind of feels like it's really swingy, and you really only want like a Rocket, maybe Star-Lord.
Yeah, with how
I guess Mantis could maybe work for
but
Victoria
they work,
hand,
but they
also,
work
like,
with
really?
Quinjet, so it'll be good, right? Because they're creating cards. Surely, the Agent Coulson Major Victory.
They won't work, and don't call me Shirley.
They won't work. What do you mean they won't work?
I just don't think it'll be. I don't think this card is going to be good.
Oh no, I think this card is very, like you said, very very hit or miss. I thought you were like they're not going to work with Quinjet. I was like they should work with Quinjet.
Okay. I just don't think it's going to be a good card. Speaking of, by the way, it's going to releasing on the 15th of February. Again, Datamines, and we'll drop to Series 4 1 month later.
Okay.
And that's as a limited time event is how it's dropping, apparently.
Okay. And then next we have, this is what we got over here. So Shang-Chi,
Can we not hit this one first? Because this is the last of the 3 of the Shang-Chi cards. I think this one I'd rather hit more immediately.
So this is the one I was talking about. Changing instead of doing Starhawk. Like this originally was an end of turn. Give one of your other cards here +1 power. So repeatedly you could do this over and over and over and over and over again. Now it is on reveal. It is way more balanced as an on reveal opposed to it being initially an end of turn.
And I also saw that at least someone, Dataminer, said that this counts as one of the draws. of your opening hand, so it's not like an extra card in your. So the way Shang-Chi, Master of the Ten Rings, work, we'll see him in a second, but his ability says that as a game start ability, the 10 rings starts in your hand. On reveal, unlock their potential. So you get this ability, then we'll go to the other one that we scroll past earlier. But I think it counts as one of those cards, according to what a data miner said. I heard this from someone else who said a data miner said it, so I have no proof one way or another, but that's what I had read.
I'm just trying to think. Also, Dormammu's skill starts in your hand and doesn't count as a draw.
It says add it to your hand, I think.
Gotcha. So that maybe the difference is.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question.
And then Agatha starts.
Quicksilver,
Agatha starts in your hand, and you still draw 3 cards.
Quicksilver said starts in your opening hand. Agatha Harkness. No, Agatha Harkness says draw Agatha.
But you still draw 3 cards.
You still draw 3 cards, and then it says game start, draw Agatha. And then game start, begin a summoning ritual. So drama. Game start, beginning a summoning ritual. Add step 1 to hand. So the other ones say that they are adding the card to your hand, whereas the other thing is just like this is part of your opening hand.
Gotcha. That would make sense for it to count as one of your initial draws.
Yeah, that's also another interesting differentiation. But for what's worth, the 10 rings base version, they did get some more power.
Yes.
They got +1 base power, and the upgraded version also got +1 more base power, but still with the same ability.
Yes, and the upgraded version, by the way, is end of turn, give your other cards here +1 power. So how many other cards you have there in that lane, get +1 power end of turn each turn. The rings itself does not get +1 power, but your Shaw, your Carter, your Clea, all those cards can get additional. Your Maverick gets +1 power end of turn.
I mean, my logic is going to be I go Clea turn 1, 10 rings turn 2, and then turn 3 Shang-Chi, and then keep using all the buffs for.
Where's Nicholas Scratch?
For Clea. Nicholas Scratch's turn 4.
Gotcha.
Because you haven't played any skills yet.
So you played Nicholas Scratch and 3 skills.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're gonna play. You'll play 2 of the. What is it? I'm playing Deafening Chord and 2 of the Flames of Faltine.
Gotcha. You're using your Deafening Chord on your opponent's 10 rings. And then Kraglin, they just upgraded changed his text a little bit. I believe he's the same exact. On reveal, 3 cost, 2 powered card. Banish the top card of your deck if it was a 4 cost or higher, +2 energy next turn. Otherwise, give Kraglin +4 power.
All right, so what's the point of this card?
So they're going to be adding eventually a card that brings back Banish cards, right? Surely.
For the question mark over Banish says Banish cards are gone forever.
That's why I'm like, maybe they'll bring something back for that, or it's an interesting style ramp card you're kind of doing here. You have some throwaways, or it's an Airsham card.
That's the answer. Oh god, you're so right. It's an Airsham card. That's the only place for this guy. It's just Airsham.
Airsham, yeah, because with Hela, you don't you're taking away some potential combo potential there. You're taking away. I mean, if you just really want the extra energy for things, maybe, or you're praying that this hits high Evo in your high Evo deck, so you get the extra 2 energy next turn. I don't know.
That's real.
This is very, very interesting kind of card. Think of at least with Moleman. Moleman banishes, of course, the top card as well, and you get rocks equal to that card's cost. This, of course. Either gives Kraglin +4 or the extra energy, which is just interesting, I would say. Yeah, so.
I think this card is going to be pretty middling. I didn't know, by the way, Kraglin, right in the MCU, it's James Gunn's brother, I think Sean Gunn, and then it's also what's his face? They also have it as well inside of this. It's the same. I believe it's the same font, by the way, that Yondu uses, slightly different color, and you can tell it's the same. Same type of alien? So cool. I don't know why there's more of an emphasis on this slug than Kraglin.
Well, the slug's awesome. That's why. That's why they have.
I
More
mean, I
emphasis
agree,
on
but
the
also
slug.
I just don't get why it's the main card. It feels like more so.
It's okay. It'll get its own card eventually, right? Because it's referenced there. But
is.
Shang-Chi went from a 3-4 to a 3-5, like we said. Game start, the 10 rings start in your hand, and then on reveal, unlock the potential.
Yep. There you go. I mean, they buffed this card up. They put power on all the extra cards because they removed the end of turn ability from from the main version of the 10 rings, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it so you really want to be able to upgrade them. You're not just okay with them on the board.
Yep.
Don't know if I'm interested if the card's going to be okay.
Oh, this card's still good.
You think so?
Yes. Yes, this card is still good. It's not busted anymore, but it's still a good card. Yeah.
I was talking with people last night about it, and it was like, yeah, no, the card's just trash now.
The first part is trash, maybe, but the next part, like end of turn, giving all your other cards +1. I don't think that's trash. What's that location that gives +1 end of turn?
Mirror Island.
I think that's a pretty good location more often than not. So I would say
that's. You know what? You're not wrong. We'll see. I love being proven wrong. It's better for me entirely, but
especially because sometimes that location doesn't appear until like turn 3, and you're not like, oh, turn 3, that's a horrible location to appear on turn 3. My game's over now. It's like, no, I think this card's still definitely gonna be good.
Yeah, I will be very happy if it is still good, but we'll see. And then I think there's only one more data mined card. We don't actually have that many like new abilities or stuff to talk about. A lot of these are cards we've seen pretty similarly. Magus is the same. We just know it's part of the Super Premium Season Pass now. We have a lot of cards that are inside of the Team Clash stuff, which we'll talk about here in the following section. And then I know we have a bunch more references to like future cards, which is potentially exciting. But I will say other things that are exciting is I do think that the Season Pass card for that month is going to be pretty middling. I think this season's pass card is also like it's a lot. It's maybe more narrow, but I don't think it's as bad. But I also know, Tuck, there are people out there who don't have it, who are currently struggling and do not have the current season pass card. And I'm going to offer this to anyone who would like the current season pass. If you would like the current season pass, all you need to do is be an early viewer of the app, be the first person to see me put this bit of text right here over my little face, or I guess below it. That's an L at the beginning, I think. And you go to the web shop. I think it's marvelsnap.com/shop, something like that. I don't know. Marvelsnap.com has it, the web shop. You go there and put this code in. You'll get a free season pass. I'm waiting a little bit because I know some people don't have the ability to get the season pass, and I want to let those first couple of weeks of the month go by before that happens. And I'm in the holiday spirit, if you can't tell. So if you want season pass, if you haven't gotten it, put this code in the web shop. You should get a free season pass. Let us know in the comments down below if you were the one to do it. And yeah, there you go. That's it. Merry Chrysler if you celebrate it. Otherwise, have a pretty good holiday season, I think. Anyway, get it.
Yeah. Thank you for Dance for that. If you guys didn't know, Magus didn't get any updated changes, but if you guys don't know who Magus is a 3-cost 5 powered card with the ability activate, copy the text of a character in your deck with cost equal to your unspent energy.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a good card for Surfer and Hella, Mr. Negative, stuff like that. Is just any time where you just didn't get the card that you wanted. By like turn 4 or 5, you got this on the board. You just activate instead, and would you look at that? Now you've got the card.
Honestly, the Negative and Hella shout is really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Or like turns into an Iron Man. You float turn 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for the ongoing decks that are running all that stuff, really good as well, especially because you can use Moonstone there. No, it's just like, okay, which card do I not have that I really wanted? There you go. So you typically are running only one of those cards or whatever. This is just your backup plan.
Or even if you're not running just one of those cards, you know what cards are left in your deck, so you float that much energy, kind of, sort of thing.
True.
And you have some options there, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun stuff with this guy. But we also have a bunch of future seasons of cards. Like you mentioned, Days of Future Past. So there's like the idea where potentially it's tying into the X-Men 97 season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers for X-Men 97 season 1 and potential spoilers for season 2. They ended the last season, and again, spoilers if you don't want to hear, skip ahead like 20 seconds. They ended the last season with some of the characters traveling back in time to ancient Egypt, and then seeing Apocalypse, but like as when he was still like not fully Apocalypse yet. And I don't remember his name. I'll find it here. I think it's but you see the guy with the face or whatever. So there's probably a tie in there.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of cards. We got Iska, the Unbeaten, Apocalypse, Celestials, Chosen, Rama Tut, Selene, Horseman of Famine. Bro, imagine they actually like make a new Selene card before actually changing face Selene.
Well, they've already did that with Cyclops in Team Clash.
That is true. But I mean, there's High Evo Cyclops, right? At least there's that iteration you could still run, opposed to just Selene being Selene.
True.
We have Ozymandias or Mandias. We got Gambit, Horseman of Death.
Second Gambit.
Yes, second Gambit. Living, a Monolith, Juggernaut, Horseman of War.
God, I love it.
Sandstorm, Celestial Empowerment, Caliban, Horseman of Pestilence, Pestilence, yes. Ensabanur.
So that is Apocalypse's real name.
Ensabanur?
Ensabanur, I believe. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff like this that I can go into. For example, so Iska is married Apocalypse.
Okay.
I didn't know Apocalypse was chosen by Celestials.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I had no idea that was a thing. Rama Tut is a card that we have a variant for of Kang, because that is a variant of Kang, who actually traveled back in time and became a source, like a pharaoh.
Okay.
I actually remember this one, and I will say, I think this is good. I don't think that they should have ever done a Rama Tut version of a Kang variant, personally, similar to the way that they shouldn't have done like a Scarlet Spider version of Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man suit. I think Spider-Man's fine, except for the fact that they made it its own card later. That's a different thing. But I don't think that Rama Tut should have ever been a variant. I get it why. I think it should have been its own separate card, because I think it's really a cool character. I remember, I think I've told you this before. I've done the research on like a lot of Kang stuff in the past. It's super interesting, super cool. I think he's cool. I'm excited about that one and for that tie-in.
He's cool. He's cool.
Yeah.
And then we got a lot of Horsemen. We got the Horsemen like the Apocalypse kind of stuff, which is interesting. I wonder if this is like, with these data mines here, like a part 1 season, part 2 season. Like I wonder if maybe they'll like tie it in like with the dev video or something, like how they hint at like the next season kind of thing. They're like, wait, this is not over yet. And then boom, it's like, well, actually, here is part 2. We started something, now let's finish it, kind of thing. You know, we'll see what happens there. But with how many cards we have referenced here, I mean, this is 12 cards. I don't think we're getting 12 cards in one season. I think the most we've gotten is 10. So I'm wondering if we do get some more, or maybe these are token cards for something else. So it'd be just interesting to kind of
I feel like token cards, because like this is a lot of stuff. Like I feel like the fact that we have so many different like specific horsemen here feels like it must be something else. I don't know, but yeah, it feels like it must be a bunch of tokens is my personal guess. I've got nothing else in this. Actually, I should check the schedule, but I'll look at that in a second. Other character stories, which I always like to talk about. Ozymandias is, I believe, the son of the pharaoh before Rama Tut.
Okay.
And then that guy was sent to capture Ensabanur.
Okay.
And so, and Rama Tut, apparently, being a time traveler from the 30th century, knew that one day Ensabanur would become the powerful mutant Apocalypse, so he wanted to make Ensabanur the heir and control his future.
Interesting. That is very, very neat. Okay.
That's actually cool. I didn't know about that. Caliban is, I think, apparently one of the first. What's it called? Caliban might be one of the first horsemen of the apocalypse, according to the quote I'm seeing on the wiki here. But looks to be, what is it? One of the very first ones. Oh, he looked really cool. Wow, this character looks awesome. I don't have a good image that actually looks nice, but he can detect. I have images, but they look like really old comic images, and I like to send you some, but it's just like, whatever. I'll just send you this anyway, so you can at least see the link, or see, so people in the Yap can watch it and see what he looked like a little bit. But you have this, and it does look. He looks. I think he's the middle guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Yep. He looks cool. So I would love to see. I love to see stuff with that. And then I think there was one more character we hadn't seen yet, that I hadn't described yet, that was shown. Living Monolith.
Yes.
He was a professor of ancient Egyptology when he formed a theory that the gods and pharaohs of old were actually ancient mutants. And then he was accused of heresy, and his, he was attacked by a mob who chased him through the streets. And then his family died. A mob looked on, did nothing to help them. And then he discovered he had the ability to manipulate cosmic energy.
Oh.
You know, I don't know the process there. God, Marvel does great storytelling if you just try to like cut it all down, especially older ones. Like you're just like, oh God, my family died. Hey, look, cosmic energy. It's all mine. I harness it now. That's cool.
That's
like,
so
what?
funny.
Call up, you jump from point A to point B in the wildest ways. I love it. Also, there's just a sandstorm, Darude. Da-da-da-da-da.
Just the Darude sandstorm. You get whenever you play the card, the sound effect or the sound bite plays every single time.
You know, when I was I was like 13 years old, one of my friends did a backflip, and I thought it was so cool. And what I did is I just basically recorded it, made it super slow motion, and then just played the Darude sandstorm thing behind it, and just kept making the backflip just rewind and re-show the backflip repeatedly with different like filters over it. I thought it was so cool, and then it got taken down by Facebook.
That does not surprise me that you made something like that. That does not surprise me. So okay. But that is going to be the gist of the Datamines. And then, I don't know, if you guys want some content that's not super surprising, but that is just super fantastic every single time you watch any ounce of it, I would definitely check out Not My Dance's YouTube channel, which will be down in the description below. He's going to actually have a large array of videos releasing here soon, too, as we do have 4 cards that come out this week. So there's going to be probably a different iteration of a deck for a large variety of them for Dance to make. He's thinking of them right now. Yeah. So that'll be down in the description below. He'll also probably have an OTA video for you guys whenever we get info about that. And then also, if you guys want to watch some of his live gameplay on Twitch, that info will be down in the description as well. So you can watch the live yaps, the live reacts, and some also good variety content as well. He does stream Snap mostly, but he does have some solid variety content as well. If you guys want a little break from Snap, maybe the meta's got you down, Dance got the vibes to lift you back up. That info will be down in the description below, as well as his link to his Twitter, where he does posts these decks and links to these deck guides as well.
Good stuff. I'm very stoked about a lot of the cards that are going to be coming out this month. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I guess future months, but not to mention, of course, we've got future cards, and some of these have changed slightly, and I have it up in terms of what the Datamines have suggested. But some of these, we have a bunch of different types of cards for all the other like cards in Team Clash. I think it's gonna be pretty sick.
Yeah, Team Clash looks very, very interesting here. We do have 5 different teams. We have the Avengers, we have the Web Slingers, we got the X-Men, we got the Thunderbolts, and we have, I think I forget, the Guardians of the Galaxy. How can I forget about the Guardians of the freaking Galaxy? But the Avengers, if you didn't know.
I know why.
Well, probably you know why, yes. But in case you guys did not know, the Avengers do have the ability passively, this is on any Avengers card, as well as I do believe the ones that are considered Avengers have, after you play an Avenger, give one of your Avengers there +1 power.
And there are 6 different Avengers that we have inside of the base decks. And the way that we've been able to talk about it from the video that was taken care of and everything else is that these 6 cards are locked in a deck. And then you have 6 other cards that you can use that aren't, like, you can't use the other version of Captain America. You can't use the other version of Doctor Strange, I don't think. But you get to put all of them in there, and then you get to basically just combine them, do whatever you want to, because there's both like custom and pre-constructed decks, which I'm glad they're doing both. And there's a massive list of other cards that are technically Avengers and other cards that are in all the other teams. There's a bunch of those lists that was posted, I believe, by Browday inside of Cam Best's Discord, which, we just get our information from legitimately everywhere at this point. Just so we can have at least some sort of actual information for y'all. But yeah, so starting off, though, in the Avengers, of course, you've got Captain America. And his ongoing ability is as a 3/4. Your other Avengers here have +2 power. And that is, again, same. I will correct if there's a difference from the image in front of us.
Okay. But yeah, the Avengers' abilities look kind of crazy. I think just like at a glance here, Doctor Strange is a almost global Grandmaster. In the sense where it pulls your Avenger move one of your Avengers with an on reveal to its location, and then you repeat its on reveal. So it's kind of like a targeted pull. Of course, it's not targeted in the sense where like it pulls your greatest powered one like it does the original, but it makes that on reveal go off again. So something to note at its 2 cost there. And then the Hulk. The Hulk is a 6'11" that gets +2 power for each other Avenger you have there. So it's a bigger bodied Wolfsbane, which is very interesting to note there. But I don't see any ramp necessarily in the Avengers deck at a glance here to get more of that extra Hulk value per se. So it's more like a big turn 6 kind of play, I would think, right?
I think it's going to be, I feel like it's not gonna. I don't know. I don't remember if it's gonna be like. Did they talk about it in the video? I'm trying to actually check. Did they talk about it in the video whether there's like extra energy similar to Sanctum Showdown, or is it? No, it's just they didn't talk about it. I was trying to look and see if they had mentioned it.
No, there's decks there's some of these decks that have either characters or a passive that gives you extra energy for certain interactions. But this one itself, it does not look like it has. And like we're looking at this list here of the Avengers as well, like I'm not seeing Luna Snow. I'm not seeing even Wave. Yeah, Wave's not considered. Wiccan is considered an Avenger. So technically with Wiccan, you could get like Hulk out early. Technically, if you wanted to. But
technically that. I'm trying to see if there are any other ones that really seem like big Avengers type of cards, because they're also like doing like the first Avengers as well, like the ancient ones and some of the stuff.
Like Agamotto's included.
Agamotto's like skill.
Oh yeah, bolts could allow you to do your Hulk potentially early. Merlin is not actually, unless you get Merlin from Maria Hill, then you could.
Who is one? Yeah. So there's a bunch of different lists, and from like we're not going to list all of them here.
Is considered an Avenger, non-X-Men. Okay. That allows you to do your Wiccan stuff.
I'm willing to bet there's stuff where it's like they said X, like they maybe. None of these characters look like they overlap from list to list.
Yep.
And oftentimes, whether or not you may like it or not, this is something where they ask Marvel what they're going to do. And Marvel says Quicksilver is going to be an Avenger. Because there's a very big movie where he's an Avenger.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That's probably...
you have Quinjet as well, potentially, because you've got Coulson and Maria Hill, like you mentioned. But like... And the Helicarrier, in case you were thinking of that. But yeah, so... I mean, beyond the other stuff, obviously you've got then the Hulk team class of the Hulk, who I believe is actually a 6'10", not 6'11", slight difference. Oh no, he's 6'11". Yeah, he's 6'11". Cool. 611 that says +2 power for each other Avenger you have here, which is sure, not bad. You don't have a way to get extra energy, so you can't really do a lot with the Doctor Strange, but not the worst. It feels like, again, very narrow of a card, but still potentially cool.
Yeah, I think Thor is one of the main cards to note here. Is you do draw an Avenger as you shuffle Mjolnir into your deck, which that's pretty cool. So like you're drawing a card while you're adding a card. I think that's pretty beneficial itself, and some like good key synergy there for the Avengers. I think just being able to add power, conditionally onto another Avenger by itself without having to like really scale too much into it, it's going to be pretty nice just to continue to get that going. But next we do have the X-Men, which the X-Men also look very interesting here because you get +1 energy for each location where you have 3 or more X-Men as the passive there. And you also have cards that benefit from that extra energy. Of course, like Sunspot's considered an X-Men. You also have Cyclops, Team Class Cyclops, which is a 3/1 ongoing, gains power equal to the most energy you had in one turn this game.
And this also does seem like a bit like a deck where you really want extra energy. Again, looking at Jean Grey as a 2/3, different from what we know her as. The next time you get bonus energy as the turn starts, draw a card.
Bro,
which is once per game. I mean, it's better than the regular one.
Yes.
This is, all right, peeping behind kimono, because we haven't really talked about what we had talked about previously. One of the things we talked about was we had some stuff for OTA cards. We just realized we didn't have enough time as we had more information on Team Clash and Datamines, so we just cut that entirely. It's only a 2-section yap today. But with that in mind, we were talking about the cards that we wanted to change, and I'm not going to. And actually, Jean Grey wasn't. No, she was in the list. You put her in the list.
She was one of my cards.
Yeah, she was one of your cards, and you had said you just want a better ability because one of the things they talked about recently was how they didn't like how Storm was so restrictive and is such a famous character.
Yep.
The same exact argument applies for Jean Grey, and this is such a cooler ability for Jean Grey.
Yes, and I think the one we had talked about too, I think we kind of brainstormed a little bit more together, is her ability changes, or her ability was you can only play odd-costed cards onto Jean Grey's lane.
Yeah, because it was like, well, then you could play Cyclops, you could play Professor X, you could do stuff like, and it stops Wolverine, which is
Magneto,
like a lot of
like it.
Exactly. Yeah, which I thought was actually I thought it was a very cool little piece, and I don't know if that's again a completely different aside thing, but I thought that was a very interesting thing worth mentioning, especially when we're talking about how cool this current ability is. Even if it's only a one-time thing, I'm down. I still like it. I'm still stoked. Speaking of Jubilee, with the on reveal ability to add the top card of your deck to this location, give it power equal to your unspent energy, which it says power, but it is energy.
Yes, that's going to be really solid. And then Professor X is another highlight here too. It's a 5/5.
Is she a 4/2? Sorry, wait, is she a 4/2? No, she's 4/1.
I think she's still 4/1. And then a 5/5 Team Class Professor X. You get +1 energy for each turn for each of your X-Men here.
This one also seems really fun. I do like the way this guy looks.
Very, very interesting there, opposed to the restrictive Professor X locking you in unless you move a card or play a skill onto the Professor X lane.
Yeah. I love this change. I love this guy. He seems really cool. And again, a cooler thing than just everything else that we have seen thus far. Like in terms of other base abilities for these guys. I don't know. I love that Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Professor X are all just a lot more interesting. We also have a different one for Nightcrawler. Cool. I don't care about it. But the question I have is Wolverine. So again, all 6 of these cards are locked in the deck. And you got all these different energy things. And then you just have Wolverine with this random ability. End of turn, if you have unspent energy, destroy this to regenerate it with +2 power at a location where you have an X-Man. What?
Is it because it says X-Man?
No, I think it's said in one of the movies where I think Wolverine called himself an X-Man. But Why? Like, it's just so random to go for the destroy bit. I don't know.
Well, you gotta pay homage to Wolverine. You can't have the X-Men without Wolverine, so that's why they like had to keep some of the destroy aspect into it.
They had to.
They had to, you know, that the +2 is just gonna scale.
I would have been okay if they hadn't put it in there personally, but I mean, yeah, these are fine. I think this one seems okay. I think the Avengers seems good because it has such versatility, and there are a lot of X-Men. To be fair, right? There are a lot of different X-Men to look at and to potentially talk about, at least according to like advanced information that data miners are just really good at, or whatever. I don't know how Brad got that stuff, but really good. Like, I think it seems fun because you have a lot more variety here. However, some of the other ones don't feel like you have a lot of variety.
Yeah, some of the other ones, not necessarily. Like Thunderbolts, there's more of a niche kind of setup, I believe, of Thunderbolts characters to be able to get this. But the Thunderbolts, what's really cool is like all of their abilities pertain to locations you are losing, which is cool. And then your Thunderbolts also reveal with +2 power at the locations that you are losing on top of that. And I think one thing immediately to note is Winter Soldier by himself. No Bucky Barnes. Straight up Winter Soldier is a 1/7. You can only play this at a location that you are losing.
No, I think the fact that it's an archetype where it just basically cares about what you're losing makes it, even though like there are technically some less cards available, and there's also like a lot of Dark Avenger cards that seem like they're in here, but sure, whatever. It makes it so it seems like there's a really cool stuff you can do with this. And for what it's worth, I love a 4/0 Taskmaster that gains power equal to your other highest power Thunderbolt. And like that's awesome, especially when you look at the 4/9 Sentry, which just cares about you having another Thunderbolt, and that's just again not one of just these 6. It's any card with the Thunderbolt tag, which I think there's a filter inside of the deck building screen. So I like that. Yeah. And God, I love it. It's so cool. There's a lot of really awesome stuff within all of these that I think is going to be really fun. Also, Toxie being playable. Could not imagine that world, and that's insane that we get it here.
And Ghost is playable too, right? But I don't know. I think the Taskmaster change I think is really cool. It doesn't have to be the last card you played, and because your Thunderbolts appear or they reveal with +2 potentially if you're at losing locations, that's even better value.
True.
For Taskmaster, I think, which is in general.
And Valentina helps with that.
Yes, Valentina, in the sense, not only because Valentina is a -1 power, but also in the sense, I do believe that Valentina will generate Thunderbolt cards that are part of that, like that Thunderbolts pool, I think, opposed to necessarily these ones that are hard stuck in, like, I don't think she'll generate you a Winter Soldier or a Taskmaster or a Sentry. I think she'll just generate ones from that pool of other Thunderbolts cards.
I think she does both.
You think
she'll do all of them? I think she'll do all of them. I have no proof. Yeah. Not even mentioning again, she has the -1, which also I think the Hood is one of the cards. I think is what I had seen. So the Hood being a card you can generate, or was it like a Hood being a card as well, just to help you lose locations, is really sick. Lets you do some really fun stuff later on.
Yeah, no, I think that's solid. This is the one I've been the most excited to test is the Thunderbolts. But some of these other ones are maybe a little underperforming, I think, the Guardians here.
Seems so bad.
Because the Guardians, all cards reveal a +1 power at glowing location.
That's all.
Yes. You and your opponents will know what the glowing location is. You have a Sanctum Showdown deck, pretty much, that shows, what lane to potentially fight for as your opponent or not fight for, depending on what you got going on. Yeah. But these Guardians cards do have better abilities in some cases than their base counterparts for the regular game of Marvel Snap.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Obviously, Gamora is another one that just seems awesome as a 5/7. If your opponent played a card here this turn, destroy their lowest cost card. That seems pretty sick.
Yes.
Also, the stat change between Drax being a 3 cost and then Groot being a 4 is interesting to me personally. And then also Cosmo is a Guardian, I believe is what I had seen. So Cosmo being a card that you can play, and then on turn 4 playing Groot, a card that says discard a non-Guardian card from your hand unless an opponent played a card here this turn. For 1, just really encourages you to be building with Guardians. And for 2, does seem really sick in terms of just being like, all right, cool, I'm just going to Cosmo this.
And you could also, if you wanted to have a card discarded, still play Groot because you have a non-Guardians card in your hand that you'd rather have discarded anyways and get value on top of it being a 4/10.
Yeah. No, 100%. It seems very, very good. There's a lot of really great ones. And did you just say Rocket or am I deaf?
No, I just said Groot. So you can talk about Rocket and Mantis if you'd like.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry. Rocket being a 1/3 that just says draw a Guardian. I thought it was slightly different in the stuff. I should make sure I verify this. Yeah, it's just draw a Guardian as a 1/3, which pretty cool. I like it. It's better stats, but also just gives you another card that you kind of do want, and card draw is pretty good.
Pretty good. Same with Mantis. On reveal, if your opponent played a card here this turn, give a Guardian in your hand -2 cost.
That one seems amazing. This is like some of these I'm like, please put these in regular game. Mantis's I'm like, all right, listen, I understand Mantis sucks. You can't do this one in the regular game. I think that's just busted. But
it's a Guardian. It's not just a regular, like you'd have to give a Guardian -2. Maybe they do this to the Guardian season. Like it's not like, give a card in your hand, any of it -2. It is targeted.
Give an on reveal card in your hand -1 cost. I could see.
That would be interesting.
But they haven't. The closest we've seen is Major Victory, who has like the Guardians thing, and that has the list on him. I don't know. Yeah, and then the question of Star-Lord, I think, is like, does Star-Lord work? Does he buff the cards in hand and on the board and in deck, or is it just on the board, or how does he work?
I hope he works all the way around, kind of like how Zombie Galacti changes everything.
I would hope so. I agree.
But, we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah, like there's some cool stuff here, but the problem is it seems so narrow, seems so difficult, especially, and we haven't even talked about it. This is the next one and the last one does seem like the very best deck because of this insane ability here. You get +2 energy if one of your Spider-Verse cards moved last turn. And again, I'm referencing stuff that we talked about before and didn't make it in the thing. But one of the things that was talked about was this ability is fine unless Silk counts as a Spider-Verse card, Tuck. We had said that. And according to this list, Silk's on there.
Yeah. So you're pretty much, if you draw Silk, almost guaranteed to have +2 energy every turn.
Yeah. Wowza, that's insanely good. And it also looks like it does like Spider-Verse and Spider-Man's enemies. It does all of it in order to have like more things there. Because as you can tell, some of these teams are really struggling. Guardians of the Galaxy. Did you like my cough right there?
Yes, that was pretty good.
Thanks, appreciate it.
But Symbiote Spider-Man Dance kind of confuses me.
God, that's the one I don't know, bro.
It's a 4/6 activate. Merge one of your cards here into this. Replace that card with a Spider-Verse card from your deck. Like, does that card get merged and then shot out of, I guess, Symbiote Spider-Man and switch with something else? Or
do we get an extra card, or do you just lose the card that you've merged? Like, what? How in the world does this work? This card doesn't make any sense to me. Straight up. Like, I don't get it. Why would you say the word replace? Add? Sure.
Yeah, unless Symbiote Spider-Man doesn't gain that card's power, and then it like.
But that's not how merge works.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, unless that is how it works, I have no idea what's gonna happen here.
I don't get that card in the slightest. Speaking, and I think understand Scarlet Spider though, who also looks confusing, but I think I get it. Right, we've talked. We literally talked about this like back and forth, where we were like, okay, Scarlet Spider. This Spider-Verse version is a 3/4 that says activate, add a clone with the same power to another location, then move this to the third location. So you'll activate it. Then one of the other locations. Now you've got two of your Scarlet Spiders or your Spider Clone, whatever, at 2 locations, and then whatever that last location is, this Scarlet Spider will move over there.
Yes,
this is the way I understand it.
That's the way I've been rating it too, which I think is much better for the Scarlet Spider. And then also, Spider-Man 2099 is actually a little crazy in here too, especially with Silk. So on reveal, for each time your cards moved this game, give +1 power to one of your cards.
Also, Ezekiel Sims is in the list.
Yes. So Ezekiel Sims
like,
also would be
you're
solid.
just moving everything. I think there are some cards that are banned. And I think the ones that we saw a few of the cards that were banned.
Mm-hmm.
And is Hydra Stomper banned?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think Hydra Stomper's banned.
It's not banned. Oh my gosh, why in the world is that card not banned? That's insanely good.
Hydra Stomper value, bro.
It really, like, it's already a card that I think people are like really solid. Yeah, it's not banned. The banned cards, for what it's worth, I'm just gonna hit them real fast. We'll talk about the other stuff. Human Torch is banned, for what it's worth.
Yes.
And Mercury, so really can do move things. So is Eliath, Erisham, Galactus, Hydra Bob, Nightmare, Storm, and Living Tribunal. I already mentioned Torch and Mercury. Yeah, I think the video didn't show Galactus, but then the blog post did. So that's a interesting note. I don't know technically which one's the correct thing there. Banned? According to the blog post, it is, but according to the video, it's not.
Okay.
Don't know.
Okay.
This is one that, like, God, I'm so stoked about Team Clash, but it feels like I have so many more questions than, like, I like hoping that the second I mess with this, will make sense. But like going into it, I feel like I know less than any other game mode we've talked about in the past. And it's really unfortunate. I like being able to know this stuff. I like being able to figure this stuff out. And it really kind of blows that I just don't get to know about this stuff. Because, like, I don't know. I got to prepare about some of this stuff, right? That came out. Like, I got to prepare for Maverick by watching your buy or bust. I got to prepare for also, we have Marrow coming out tomorrow by watching your buy or bust. I don't think we're talking about really those cards today because they are all because Maverick already came out. But if you are interested in Marrow and you haven't messed with Maverick and you're uncertain whether or not you want to get those cards, guess what? Tuck does have his buy or bust on his channel. And you can watch those and figure out what cards you like to buy. I will always push his buy or bust videos because I personally think that they are the most useful to me. I get information out of them. I learn stuff out of them. And so if I enjoy something, if I'm learning something, I want to make sure y'all have the opportunity to learn that as well. So go over to his YouTube channel, which you're already probably watching this on, youtube.com/TUCCRR Tucker. And you can, it's actually youtube.com/@Tucker. Anyway, you can watch those videos and see exactly what you want to be doing with these new cards. If these cards are a buy or a bust for you personally, I love what he talks about them. I love all the information he gives. And I also especially love, and I kid you not, the last 2 minutes of every single time he talks about these new cards. And you'll see why you know why if you watch his stuff. So if you haven't already, go over to his YouTube channel, check that stuff out. Also go over to his Twitch where he's going to be playing with this new Team Clash game mode. He's going to be playing with all the new cards that come out. He's going to be playing with so much other fun stuff, and he's having a great time over there. You know, absolutely killing it as well inside of Rivals that I know he's been messing. I think it's like, what, Rogue just came out, and then there's Deadpool is coming out next month. Yeah. So lots of fun stuff there. If y'all haven't already, you should be checking out Tucker over on his Twitch, his TikTok, his Twitter, his YouTube, everywhere. TUCCRR, same username in all the places. Very easy to find him. Do it. Your experience inside of whatever game you're playing, especially if it's Marvel Snap, is going to be better for it. Speaking of making things better, sometimes I didn't realize that Anti-Venom would need a buff. But as a 4/6 with the on reveal, set the cost and power of your deck's top card to 0 until that card moves. So you just undo the debuff of Anti-Venom, but then still get the buff. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be really, really crazy for that, and then also for Agony here, which is why I think Torch is banned. Of course, it's honestly different because it's not a Spider-Verse card, but it's Agony is. When you play a card here, merge with it, and if it's a Spider-Verse card, move it away from here. So that's like insanely good for your Spider-Punk immediately, or Vulture even, because Vulture is going to be a Spider-Verse card. So like, that's going to be kind of crazy for that. But yeah, that's the general gist I think we have for the Yap today. We went over the Datamines, we went over Team Clash. A lot of cool stuff coming out very soon, and then tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 3 new cards. We have Marrow. We have, Wild Child.
If you count all of these cards as well, you have 33 new cards releasing tomorrow.
That's true. Technically 33 cards.
That's just the facts.
Yeah. Technically 33 new cards are releasing tomorrow.
That's the word. 33.
33. And something really cool about this, by the way, is that there are missions in this now, and there are missions per decks too. They talked about it in the Discord post about how Team Clash is going to be up and running. It talks about what the items look like in the shop. It talks about how the new pass for the game mode is going to be 1,200 gold, so it is a more expensive pass. And it also talked about there will be...
has 2 cards with it.
Yes,
is the
it does have
reasoning
2
why,
cards with it.
Still, it sucks.
Yes, still expensive, but there'll be missions now. Think of like how high voltage works, and I believe the missions are going to be better this time around because they are going to be deck focused. So if you want to complete your missions, you aren't necessarily going to be able to play the same deck the entire time. You will need to change it out and try new things, which I think will be very helpful to help mitigate some of the meta game, hopefully.
And I also think, I don't have any confirmation of this, but I also think every single new card coming out tomorrow, and also Maverick came out yesterday, I think all of them technically are X-Men cards, so they'll be part of that team. I don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, don't quote me. But yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of interesting stuff with Team Clash. I'm interested to see if I've talked about this before, where I'll say on the price thing, I don't love anything becoming more expensive, but I also feel like they're just continually in a place right now where they're trying to figure out what their stuff in their game is worth right now in these limited time events. And they're trying to figure out, okay, should I just be sticking with 800 or should we be increasing the price, or what should we be doing with it? They did add an extra card in there, and for what it's worth, 2 Series 4 cards for roughly 1,200 gold, I believe, and I think a few games played, is a decent deal, but it is... different stuff, and so we'll see how it actually lands. I think it's a fair deal, but also it still sucks anything getting increased in cost.
Yeah, definitely. But if you guys didn't make it to the end of the video, like Dan said, the word of the day is going to be 33, and then if no one snags something in the very middle of the video, you guys may have missed something out there.
If you don't know what the word of the day is, I'm just going to say it again. If you make it to the very end, use the word 33 in the comments. You don't have to just say the word 33. Just use it somehow inside of your message so we know that you've made it to the end of the video, that you've made it through the whole yap, because we appreciate knowing that stuff. Just as an explanation for what the word of the day is, because once in a while, best to refresh your memory. As Tuck even knows, he has to refresh my memory on any time we have anything scheduled. He warns me about it like a few hours in advance, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. He's like, yes. I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't even know he was gonna do it. He just helps me out. So I'm helping y'all out today with that bit.
Yeah, but thank you guys once again so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have a lot of success with Team Clash, and it isn't too grindy. We hope that you guys get both cards, and there's some really cool emotes and stuff in there too. So good luck with that. Good luck with the rest of your Infinite Climb. It's been real. God bless, and laters.